The historic square in the city of Fredericksted was severely damaged when Hurricane Maria hit Saint Croix. Dennis M. Rivera Pichardo for the New York Times Fredericksted, VI, on Tuesday morning, as President Trump prepared to meet with Gov. Kenneth map of the United States Virgin Islands on a Navy amphibious assault ship offshore. The residents of the island of Saint Croix were busy putting together lives and neighborhoods wrenched apart by Hurricane Maria. The hurricane smashed through this tourist island with 50,000 permanent residents on September 19, hitting the city of Fredericksted particularly hard. The once quaint town, a grid of modest, brightly colored buildings well known to Caribbean tourists and cruise ship aficionados, was a shambles, with corrugated metal twisted and lying in the street. Power poles were leaning at strange angles, tons of trash and branches were piled on the curbs, and in many cases, naked studs provided mere insinuations of the roofs that had blown away. It was a dramatic contrast to other parts of Saint Croix, the largest in the United States Virgin Islands, that were merely grazed. The Buccaneer, an elegant resort just east of Fredericksted, saw only minor damage, except for a roof that was torn off a building. But in the main guesthouse Tuesday, lilting reggae wafted through the open-air bar, as government relief workers tapped away on laptops. In the morning, a helicopter deposited itself on the pristine golf course, disgorging military and Army Corps of Engineers personnel. Great meeting with Governor Mapp of the U.S. VI. He is very thankful for the great job done by FEMA and first responders. Pic.twitter.com @Jeff9C, Donald J. Trump @Real Donald Trump October 3, 2017 Material James, 46, a hospital security guard, was riding his bike Tuesday amid the battered neighborhoods in Peters Rest, a few miles southwest of Fredericksted, the other main city on the island. Wednesday was his birthday, but he could not imagine celebrating. "There's no power, no water, no lighting, and the roads have no lights at night," he said. He had no power or water in his apartment. He said I would love a generator. At his workplace, the 1F Lewis Hospital, the third floor was completely gutted by Maria. "A lot of the employees are wondering if they're going to lose their jobs," he said. "A lot of them are going on administrative leave." Down the road, at a mangled but functioning shopping center, the Plaza Extra supermarket was packed. Inside and out, long lines snaked as people waited to buy ice. Hundreds of cars packed the parking lot. A resident put a tarp on his roof on Tuesday at his home in Fredericksted on Saint Croix. Residents are trying to recover from Hurricane Maria. Dennis M. Rivera Pichardo for the New York Times "Tell Trump don't come here," a man yelled out, unsolicited, after spying a reporter. "He's a crook, a thief and a liar." His name was Victor Irish, 80, a retired carpenter. He had bought a few things to get him through the day: 3 cans of soup, a box of muffins. Mr. Irish said that he doubted some of Mr. Trump's well-publicized promises to make donations to charities. "Why expect a man like that to care for the Virgin Islands?" he asked. "It's not in his nature to help," he said. Homeland Security officials said it would have been logistically challenging for President Trump to visit because of the widespread destruction. On the other side of the parking lot, James Mingle Bird, 63, a retired firefighter, said that he saw employees with the Federal Emergency Management Agency on the island 3 days after the storm. "Overall," he said, "it was a pretty good response thus far from the federal government. The government's doing what they can do," he said. "They're trying to clean up this mess." Aracelis Ruiz, 40, said she was frustrated that the president was not going to put his feet on the Virgin Islands. "It would be better if he came here and saw it with his own eyes," she said. On the southwest corner of the island, closer to Fredericksted, the suburban community of Williams Delight was in tatters. Many of the concrete and stucco homes had lost their roofs, and fat electrical cables snaked dangerously along the debris-strewn streets. Jodel Jules, 25, was standing in front of the melon-colored house where he grew up with 14 other siblings. It had been built by his father, who was a carpenter, a dream home. Now there was water on the tile floor of the living room, and blue sky where the ceiling should have been. Recovery has been slow on Saint Croix, almost 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria hit the U.S. Virgin Islands. Dennis M. Rivera Pichardo for the New York Times "Everything is pretty much bad. It's gone," he said. "But we're alive, so just thank God for that." Some of Mr. Jules' neighbors already had blue tarp stamped FEMA lashed to their rooftops. Mr. Jules said that the Red Cross had come by and had promised to help with a temporary fix to his roof. He said he had been too busy to really track Mr. Trump's comings and goings. "I thought he was coming to the island," he said. When he heard that he was not, he shrugged. "Whatever," said Mr. Jules, a registered nurse. "Whatever it is, I just hope he knows the seriousness of what we're going through." Mr. Jones said that his family could use more attention and help, but he repeatedly said that there were others, the working class and the poor, who needed it more. In downtown Fredericksted, Clive Morris, 65, was drinking a beer at lunch outside of a little place called Nestor's Retail Shop. A cruise ship housing government relief workers was docked nearby. Mr. Morris, an Englishman with dual U.S.-British citizenship, retired here a few months ago after doing many different jobs. He knew the risks when he came, and he had lived through other hurricanes. Still, he said, the devastation's unheard of. He said that help was slow in getting to the city. Looting downtown, he said, had been rampant. Someone stole his generator and a chainsaw from his shed. But things seemed to have calmed down. The National Guard was around, providing security. A couple of troops were down the street ordering lunch at a hole-in-the-wall called West Yam Yam Fast Food. Mr. Morris said that it was a good thing that Mr. Trump keep his distance from here. He says such stupid things, he said. He doesn't think we're really Americans. A version of this article appears in print on October 4, 2017, on page A11 of the New York edition with the headline "Ruined Towns, Long Lines and Angry Voices in the Virgin Islands."